Vážený pán prezident Havel, vážení a milí krajania, vzácni hostia.
Mr. President Clinton, Mr. President Havel, dear compatriots, distinguished guests.
Slovenská republika a Česká republika, štáty dvoch vzájomne si blízkych národov, vznikli zo spoločného štátneho útvaru pokojnou cestou rokovaním. Som hrdý na tento pozitívny historický precedens. Preto som presvedčený, že aj slovenská a česká komunita v zahraničí, osobitne tu v Spojených štátoch amerických, nadviažu na tento precedens a nájdu dostatok dôvodov na vzájomný dialog.
Give somebody a heads up. That's what all you
Be able
get.
to see them right here.
So here you're film. You're telling me. You want to film it?
Let me see if you can get a picture. Do you remember what they look like?
Kind of.
It's like that. If they haven't shaved. If they shaved. We're showing you a picture of what they look like.
Because you can't see it. Gotta go this way.
Yeah.
Sorry? Right there.
Right there. Yeah. So, you know ahead of time. Yeah, sit on your phone too.
We're walking up.
Yep, we're staying put. Let me know if they're still. Yeah. Alrighty. Yeah, sounds good. Are you able to text them just push on the radar? Okay, good. Thank you. We got it just in time. When we get back, we gotta have to.
Katarino, to skončí. Tak rychle běžíme tamhle k té stěně nahoru k tomu vchodu. Na ten briefing. Já vůbec nevím, kde mám kupu, ale to je... Prostě na schodech potom.
I'm not plugging in. I'm use this one and this one. The speakers are crazy.
Yeah, I think the lady is doing her work, but she doesn't turning it in. She's putting in her work. The lady that was getting fucking credit. And I'm like, I'm not
While you're all standing, please stand as we have our honored guest, Mr. Thaddeus Innan, director of the Cedar Rapids Opera, and Caitlin Boschke from the Curtis Institute in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, lead us in our 3 national anthems. Thaddeus? Thank you so much, Thaddeus and Caitlin. And Thaddeus exemplifies just one aspect of what our National Czech and Slovak Museum and Library is about. He is not Czech, he is not Slovak, but he learned the songs with correct pronunciation just for this occasion. So Thaddeus, thank you. Good afternoon. I'm Dr. Cecilia Rakusek, and I'm the very proud president and CEO of this wonderful National Czech and Slovak Museum and Library. It's an honor for me today to welcome you to this reprise of the presidents. And we are so happy and honored that all of you came to join us. And before we get started, I just want to officially welcome Mr. President from the Czech Republic, Peter Pavel, and his wife Emma. President Peter Pellegrini from the Slovak Republic. And we have many distinguished guests, and I don't want to miss anyone, but also on the dais we have our governor, Governor Kim Reynolds, Representative Ashley Henson, and Mayor Tiffany O'Donnell. And in our audience that I want them to wave and hold your applause until I've introduced them all is our wonderful Czech and Slovak ambassadors to the United States, our Slovak ambassador Radovan Javorčík and his wonderful wife Michelle. And our Czech ambassador to the United States, Miroslav Stashek, and his wife Dana. And we have many diplomats. We have a Minister of Foreign Affairs from the Slovak Republic, Juraj Blanar. And we have many other delegates from the Czech and Slovak Republics. So would you just all wave to everybody to show všetky so tady. And I see one hiding, and that is our Consul General from the Czech Republic to the United States, who's been a great help to me, Jakub Uczesziny. Jakub? And finally, we are very honored to have many of our state legislators, senators, and representatives. Could you please all stand? Thank you all for coming. And we have a very quick time schedule for the event you're all waiting, so I will be brief. I will basically all welcome you, vítáme vás srdečně, with my whole heart. I know that my parents are looking down from heaven and saying, you did it right, Cecilka. They instilled in me a love of our Czech and Slovak culture that I could never be more grateful for. They taught me at an early age what a rich culture we have, and they told me to never ever be ashamed of it, but always be proud of it and tell everybody that you are Czech and Slovak. And I am so proud of that today especially. And in the city of Cedar Rapids, I always tell people, you don't have to be Czech or Slovak to come to our wonderful museum, because you'll learn about us and then you can apply it to your own culture. And that's what we want. It doesn't matter if you're German, Norwegian, Swedish, Danish. We want you to come here and learn about the rich culture of the Czechs and Slovaks. And I'm so proud of that today, as I said. Today we are dedicating the Boresh Immigration Clock Tower. I think the Boreshes are in our audience. Would they stand, please? Are they here or are they up above? Wendy with her mother, Joanne. This started as a dream 4 years ago. I would go and have coffee with Ernie, who was looking down from us with heaven, and I said, we really should do something to that clock tower. And then one day he said, how much do you need? And that was the beginning of something where still it's a project and a labor of love. But I must say, thank you, Ernie, and thank you, Joanne, and thank you, Wendy, for being the spark that got us going. This is a new venture for us. This clock tower is the only one in North America. It will be an inspiration to everyone as we recall the immigrant story and the wonderful stories of immigrants who built this nation. As a fourth generation Czech and Slovak, I am especially hopeful that our stories will be passed on from generation to generation. We must never forget who we are. No matter who we are, we must translate that to future generations. May we celebrate this day and may we share it with everyone. May you tell your neighbors, may you tell your colleagues of how great our museum and library really is. If everyone can do that, we will grow and grow. We're the #1 tourist attraction in Cedar Rapids, and I want us to be high in the national polls too. As a Smithsonian affiliate, I was sent a message this morning from our Smithsonian affiliates that said, congratulations on your big day. We are right behind you and so proud of you. I am hoping now that we can build a world of peace and understanding through museums like us, and that our museum will be an icon, and this clock tower will be a calling to everyone who is in Cedar Rapids. And as you enter our city, you'll say, you know, I want to go see that clock tower, because we know that it will be a source of pride, a source of love, and most importantly, a source of world understanding for all. So dziękuję za przyszli, and now let's get on with the program. I would now like to turn things over to my colleague Dalibor Mikulic, the COO and Vice President of the museum.
Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, dámy a pánové, dámy a páni, it's a privilege for me to speak to you. I was asked, my name is Dr. Mikuláš, I'm the Vice President and CEO here at the National Czech and Slovak Museum and Library in Cedar Rapids. I was asked to present several ideas, thoughts, which are very much related to this dedication. Wow, this week has been very, very special. We started with the Winton's story, very much related to the recent movie from 2023 with Anthony Hopkins. Which was a British Czechoslovak project. Then we continued with fantastic Moravian exhibits. And then in addition, we added the Slovak epic and the acquisition ceremony of the largest Slovak library in the States, which was dedicated and given to the museum here in Cedar Rapids, containing more than 20,000 books, magazines, articles. And now we're here to celebrate the Czech Slovak American project, which is called the NCSML Bureš Immigration Clock Tower project. To me, this is not just the clock tower. Everything started in 1995 when Ernie Bureš arranged for this wonderful construction, resembling our homelands, particularly in Prague. But then it continued with the recognition of the museum in 1992, recognition by the US Congress, declaring this institution being the national Czech and Slovak Museum and Library here in Cedar Rapids in the States. Then we might continue with that year, 1995, we shouldn't skip it, right? We can continue with 2008 when the flood appeared, and with a fantastic community, we were here in 2024 preparing the period for the coming 50 years. To me, this tower is like a beacon. It's not just a tower. It's the beacon which recognizes three major topicalities, and that's immigration, freedom, and democracy. And I really think that this tower has a chance to bring it to the public. So how was that possible, that we could have arranged anything like this? First of all, I would say, just in May, we carried out the ceremony, groundbreaking ceremony here. And I think that now in September we are here opening the clock tower. This could have been possible just because of the community and because of the stakeholders. And I would like to name some of them, the most important stakeholders, the most important partners to NCSML, to the National Czech and Slovak Museum and Library here in Cedar Rapids. First of all, I would like to call Spell Company and Gemma Company, these engineers, if they are here, they can wave to us, who brought fantastic mechanism to Cedar Rapids. Then I would also like to name a very motivated young Slovak artist, sculptor, who arranged for the 12 figurines. These are not apostles, these are immigrants. Then I would like to name Newman and Manson architects, which were so helpful for the overall visualization and design, and obviously Graham Construction of Cedar Rapids. In addition to the staff of the museum, in addition to the board of trustees here in the museum, in addition to hundreds of volunteers, and in addition to the community, it has been possible, to have finally this opportunity to dedicate this tower. So what you can see and what you are going to see, I'm going to make it brief, is a complex astronomical clock and clock mechanism, which is called Astrolabe. You can see it at the bottom. Then over that you can see also 2 windows behind which we're going to see 12 figurines carved in Slovakia, while the Astrolabe was produced in Prague in the Czech Republic. Everything is going to be accompanied by music by Bedřich Smetana and Antonín Dvořák, 2 most well-known Czech composers. Also, what you can see at the tower is a Moravian art produced by Lenka Jurečková. And also, you will see, and I believe that this project is not going to be done, it's going to continue, the story goes on. So you will see this tower to continue, that it's going to develop. Nevertheless, the most important story related to the Prague-style astronomical clock. You know that Prague-style Orloj is the oldest Orloj astronomical clock in the world, still functioning. So now in the States we have another Prague-style Orloj. And what's so special about this Orloj is the 12 figurines. These 12 figurines are going to display a legacy to immigrants coming to this place, coming to this particular place in Cedar Rapids in the state of Iowa, but also in the States. For instance, we are going to have 12 of them. For instance, we will see a farmer, a well-built, healthy man in his 30s with rolled-up sleeves and wide brim hat. Or we are going to, representing Czech immigrants, we are going to see the coal miner, a well-built, hard-working man with full bushy mustache, bright white piercing eyes, and coal mining hat, which is with an attached lamp. So all of these are going to display the story so special and so unique, with the aim to bring more minds to the already mentioned topics that I started with, and that's freedom, democracy, and immigration. I'm sure that we are going to hear more stories. I'm sure that we are going to read more stories about this unique astronomical clock. And if you don't mind now, I would like to ask the governor here in the state of Iowa, together with the mayor here in Cedar Rapids, to add some additional comments. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It is such an honor and a privilege to be here for this historical event. Dr. Rokusek, thank you very much for your outstanding leadership of the National Czech and Slovak Museum and Library over the last 6 years. It's been incredible. I also, before I get into my remarks, I want to take a moment to recognize Ambassador Branstad, who I believe was here for the first dedication. So, Ambassador, thank you for joining us today as well. It's an honor to be here as we celebrate its 50th anniversary, especially in the presence of the distinguished guests that are joining us for this special occasion. On behalf of the people of Iowa, I want to warmly welcome you. I want to welcome President Pavel from Czechia and President Pellegrini of Slovakia to our state. And I wanted to say a heartfelt thank you for making today's ceremony a part of your trip. It truly is a privilege to host each of you. Almost 30 years ago, your predecessors joined President Clinton here in Cedar Rapids for the original dedication of the museum's beautiful British immigration clock. And after 3 decades, a major renovation, the tower now includes multiple new elements that pay tribute to its famous inspiration in the heart of Prague. As a result, it now ranks as the only astronomical clock of its kind in the United States. It's hard to imagine a more fitting tribute to the many contributions that the Czech and Slovak immigrants have made to Iowa's economy and culture over the years. In the 1850s, the first of these escaped Austrian persecution in their homeland and sailed across the Atlantic with their sights set on gold in California. But most made it only as far west as Cedar Rapids, where many built new lives in our state as farmers. Others worked in the old Sinclair meatpacking plant or the North Star Mill, which is known today as Quaker Oats. Czech and Slovak immigrants settled in other parts of Iowa as well, Winneshiek, Benton, Johnson, and Tama counties, where their influence has clearly enriched our entire state. But most made a home right here in Cedar Rapids, so much so that it's home to more people of Czech and Slovak heritage than any other city in the world outside of Prague. Today, this remarkable heritage is kept alive at the Czech and Slovak Museum and Library, which over the last 50 years has grown from humble roots in a 3-room house to its current spacious accommodations. Even more remarkable is that the success of this unique cultural gem has continued even after a major challenge that was inflicted by the 2008 floods. You know, to me, that reflects a level of perseverance and dedication worthy of the immigrants who first made their home here. And the museum does more than preserve history. It also contributes to a vibrant culture in the present. It's the clear economic anchor of Cedar Rapids Czech Village, a thriving community of thousands with direct Czech and Slovak lineage, and recently recognized for surpassing $100 million in private investment in 2023. Clearly, the legacy of those first courageous immigrants remains alive and well in our state, as does our appreciation for their native countries and the democratic ideals that form the basis of our people's enduring bond. So my thanks again to Presidents Pavel and Pellegrini for being here, and congratulations to the museum on this very impressive milestone. Congratulations.
It is now my distinct pleasure to introduce Representative Ashley Hinson, who just flew in from Washington to give us a few words of welcome. Ashley?
Well, good afternoon. Yes, my flight was canceled last night. As you probably heard, there's a hurricane, and that is messing up a lot of travel plans. But I literally blew in with the wind, so I'm glad to be with all of you today. Welcome, Mr. President. Welcome, Mr. President, and First Lady as well. We are glad to have you all here for such a momentous occasion. And Cecilia and the whole team here at the museum, congratulations. It is such a remarkable day and such a day to celebrate. This really signifies, I think, the strength of our ties here in the United States, and I hope that this kind of example will be set for the entire country and events like this for decades to come. The 50th anniversary, obviously, of the museum is a momentous occasion, but it's an honor to recognize its contributions here in Cedar Rapids. I think it's pretty important that this vast network of international leaders and local leaders are here to help mark this milestone. It really shows the profound impact of the Czech and Slovak community in Cedar Rapids, and again, it's our hope that we will continue to be able to expand those cultural and economic conditions and connections. Since 1974, this museum has truly shared the legacy and, most importantly, the stories of the Czech and Slovak people with Iowans from all backgrounds. Every time I come here to visit the museum, I am always in awe of the beautiful artifacts that the museum displays, and they give us such a glimpse. And again, they tell those stories of the rich heritage of the Czech and Slovak people. As the governor just mentioned, there is so much history here from the immigrants who made their way here in the early 1850s. And we want to continue to be a welcoming community for decades to come. So this week I actually co-sponsored legislation to allow citizens of the Czech Republic to be eligible for E1 visas, and this will further strengthen our cultural and economic ties and opportunities with the Czech Republic, already one of our most valued trading partners. So again, Cedar Rapids' connection to the Czech Republic and the Slovak people is incredibly special, and it is represented so well at this museum. So it's my pleasure to be here to help mark this moment in our shared history and our increasingly intertwined future. Thank you so much.
The Czech and Slovak double kiss. I just saw Representative Miller Meeks. Would you like to come up on the stage? Representative Marinette Miller Meeks has just arrived, and just so you know, she's half Czech.
It's unusual for me to be here from the standpoint that Representative Hinson is doing such a fabulous job representing you here in this district. I happen to be from a family of those immigrants that was earlier talked about. So my family, the Bushkas, on my mother's side, immigrated from the Bohemia, as we now know as the Czech Republic and Slovakia, in 1854 and settled in Spillville, Iowa. So our family on my mother's side first came to this country as immigrants to this great country, carrying on the wonderful traditions that we see here and that are displayed in the museum. So it's fabulous to be here. I always appreciate being invited to come here and to celebrate the heritage of my family. An honor to be here on this great milestone with another beautiful addition to the Czech and Slovak Museum. So thank you so much. We welcome the presidents here as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Representative Miller Meeks. And we just found another connection. You know, my dear husband is always telling me, Cecilia, all you think is Czech and Slovak. I'm hearing language, I'm here. You are probably related to Caitlin Boschka, our pianist. From her family also came from the same area. She's also a Boschka. So we made a new connection. So that's great. And finally, I'd like to introduce my dear friend and colleague, the wonderful mayor of the city of Cedar Rapids, Tiffany O'Donnell.
Thank you. Following that rich Czech lineage, I'm forced to tell you that my maiden name is Di Bernardo. President Pellegrini and I share a little bit of heritage, and it's not Czech. But it is truly my honor and privilege to stand before you as the mayor of this wonderful city, the greatest city in this country, and dare I say, don't want to offend, but the greatest city in the world. And you should know that while I may not be lucky enough to have any Czech or Slovak heritage in me, I am surrounded by leaders on a city council who do. So could I just invite my members of the city council to raise your hands or stand and be recognized, because they are also leading our city with heritage that comes from the Czech and Slovak people. So wonderful to see all of you, and I am mindful that you are standing, so I will do my best to be brief here as we dedicate this beautiful Orloj clock tower. I want to extend a special welcome to our esteemed guests, the excellencies, the presidents of the Czech Republic and Slovakia, Governor Reynolds, and certainly those from our congressional district who help us out during the floods and in so many other opportunities, and our state delegation who is here as well, who we call upon for support. On behalf of the entire City Council and our city staff in Cedar Rapids, we welcome you and thank you for being here. In fact, in Cedar Rapids, we actually have a saying, you may know it, welcome is our language. These are not just words. You inspired this, from Czech immigrants who settled here over a century ago to now today's tech entrepreneurs and innovators who continue to choose our great city as their home. We have a history of inclusion. It's how we work. It's in our DNA, and we know it's why we are still here and stronger than ever. We are a hardworking, industrious city with opportunities for people looking to build a better life for themselves and their families. And today, we certainly do our best to continue that tradition of welcome and opportunity. Just 2 weeks ago, I was fortunate enough to be a part of a delegation of our city's civic and business leaders who traveled to the Czech Republic and Slovakia. And we had the privilege and honor of meeting with government officials, educators, as well as business leaders in towns in both communities. We explored opportunities for what I call cross-pollination, good ag term here. We want to collaborate as it relates to education, manufacturing, technology, and the arts. We were warmly received by many there who share our vision for a future built on mutual respect and cooperation. The trip reinforced our deep cultural roots and historical ties between our communities, and it reminded us all that while oceans and time zones may certainly separate us, our shared heritage and values keep us connected. We had the opportunity to see 2 Orloj, or astronomical clocks, during our visit. And while these clocks are more common overseas, this clock tower in Cedar Rapids, as you heard just moments ago, is special and unique to us in so many excellent ways. More than just a timepiece, it is a storyteller, sharing the story of our Czech and Slovak immigrants who had the courage to journey to Cedar Rapids and build their American dream here, whatever that may look like. It celebrates the contributions of our entire community, the traditions they brought with them, the histories that they built, and the culture that we are so lucky enough to say they have enriched. It stands as a tribute to the resilience and the spirit of the Czech and Slovak people who continue to be here and call Cedar Rapids and our Cedar Rapids region home today. I'm proud to say that the City of Cedar Rapids was also a committed partner in bringing this project to life, contributing $50,000 to support this project, recognizing the potential to enhance our collective community and drive economic development to this region. As one of the few freestanding Orloj towers in the world, this landmark is poised to become a major attraction, drawing visitors from across the country and around the globe. We've already seen it happen, eager to experience just a piece of European heritage right here in Iowa. Cedar Rapids is honored to have hosted the presidents of the Czech Republic and Slovakia for a visit. Your time here certainly illustrates the strength of our international relationships and more the importance of our cultural exchanges with one another. On behalf, once again, of my City Council colleagues who are proudly here today, and the City of Cedar Rapids, where we stand today, I want to extend my congratulations to Cecilia, Dalibor, the incredible team here at the National Czech Slovak Museum and Library for their role in making this project, our legacy project, a reality in Cedar Rapids. So thank you all for being here, and let's continue to make Cedar Rapids a place where truly welcome is our language.
Thank you so much, Mayor O'Donnell. And now for what sort of we've been almost waiting for, but it's my distinct honor and pleasure to introduce the President of the Czech Republic, Mr. Petr Pavel. President Pavel, please come forth.
Many thanks. President Pellegrini, distinguished ladies and gentlemen behind, milí hosté, milí přátelé. It is my great pleasure to be here in Cedar Rapids and to conclude our week-long visit right here in the center of the Czech and Slovak culture in the United States. I have visited the United States many times, 3 times as a president of the Czech Republic, but I have never witnessed such a great and pleasant concentration of tradition as here in your beautiful city. The astronomical clock is one of the most famous and symbolic sites in Czech Republic. Millions of tourists from all around the world come to see it at the Old Town Square in Prague every year and to admire skills and technology of its authors. I'm therefore very happy that the museum chose the astronomical clock as this project to open it today. We gathered here to celebrate this clock as a symbol of the strong cultural and historical ties between the United States and Czechia, as well as the collaboration that combines Czech expertise of the mechanics of the clock with beautiful Slovak craftsmanship of the wooden figurines in good memory of the times where our 2 nations shared a single country, Czechoslovakia. Ladies and gentlemen, let me congratulate the National Czech and Slovak Museum and Library to the 50th anniversary. The institution has gradually transformed into a hub of the Czech and Slovak culture. And I was sorry to see so little from the museum because the exhibitions are really beautiful. Today, it no longer focuses on the past, but it also contributes to the development of relations between Czech Republic and Slovakia on one side and Cedar Rapids, Iowa, and the United States on the other. What a fantastic job you are doing here. Thank you for it. And thanks to people like President Havel, Madam Secretary Albright, or President Clinton, but also to all Czech and Slovak Americans who founded the museum, the relations between our 2 nations is excellent. It is now up to us to carry on their legacy. While remembering their stories, we will continue to build a solid partnership between our nations based on our shared history, values, interests, and enduring friendships. We should never forget where we came from, but above all, we all should look ahead and build a better future. Thank you for your attention and all the best to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, President Pavel. And I have a solution to your dilemma. You didn't get to see, you got to see a little bit, but you could come back for the Moravian exhibit, you could come back for the Faces of Freedom. The solution, come back soon. It is now my distinct pleasure again and honor to introduce a friend and colleague, but I met him a few months ago, and we shared so many common stories because my husband Bob is, his mother was born in Slovakia, so we go there often, and we found out the kind of kroy that our next president likes to wear. So I was really pleased because I like to wear kroy too. So it's my honor to now introduce the President of the Slovak Republic, Peter Pellegrini.
Thank you so much, Mr. President Pavel, Madam Governor, Madam Mayor, ladies and gentlemen, dear fellow Slovaks, but also dear Czech brothers and sisters, dear American friends, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for your warm welcome, and it is a great honor for me to be here with you today. It is a real pleasure to see so many nice people across generations with proud Czech and Slovak heritage, so far away, and still it feels like at home. This is an important and symbolic visit for us. Presidents Havel, Kovács, and Clinton inaugurated the National Czech and Slovak Museum and Library back in 1995. Now, after almost 30 years, Czech and Slovak representatives stand here at the banks of the Cedar River again. Many things have changed. Floods swept away many homes in this town. Derecho blew away too many bricks. But one thing remains. We stand here together as good friends and good allies. In the 19th and 20th centuries, Czech and Slovaks were arriving in the US on ships together, looking for a better life, opportunities, and new beginnings. Many were fleeing the horrors of war and later the totalitarian communist repression. Some of them conquered new frontiers, including here in Cedar Rapids, the city of 5 seasons in the beautiful Hawkeye state of Iowa. Slovakia is grateful to the United States for being a new home to many of our compatriots and for embracing diversity. Many Slovak and Czech Americans were therefore able to preserve their traditions and culture of their homelands. Our countries are firmly bound by history. It is this country where the groundbreaking Pittsburgh and Cleveland agreements were signed. The US were vital to the creation of an independent and democratic Czechoslovakia, the base of our modern statehood. Today, Slovakia and Czechia stand side by side as two independent but deeply befriended modern countries, members of the European Union and allies in NATO together with the US. We believe in the same values of freedom, democracy, self-realization and success. As the President of Slovakia, I feel grateful and touched that Slovakia continues to form an important part of your story and your identity. And I am sure President Pavel feels the same. Please keep your beautiful and inspiring heritage alive. At this special moment, I am proud that Slovakia has its share in this beautiful work of art. The 12 sculptures in the clockwork of the Grand Clock Tower, made from Slovak oak wood, were crafted by the hands of Slovak sculptor Andrej Haršány, who is also here with us today. They convey a strong message to all compatriots and visitors. They represent 12 professions traditionally practiced by Slovak and Czechs in the US. With their unique skills, they contributed to the welfare and benefit of this country. But they also never fully separated from their roots. Whether a miner, a farmer, or a blacksmith, these sculptures are part of our story. They represent all of us, our nations, who we became thanks to our ancestors, united by freedom and the quest to leave this world a better place. Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, let me thank the city of Cedar Rapids and the state of Iowa for making it possible for both of communities to thrive here. Let me also thank the wonderful team at the National Czech and Slovak Museum and Library. This beautiful clock tower is another great accomplishment of this flagship Czech and Slovak cultural institution in the United States. You are doing really a great job of preserving, educating, and representing both nations' heritage and passing it proudly to younger generation. Dear Slovak and Czech Americans, thank you for fostering the Czech-Slovak-American friendship and being Slovakia's goodwill ambassadors. Please always carry your original homelands in your minds and hearts as we carry you in ours. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, President Pellegrini. Now for the moment that we have been waiting for. So if I can ask President Pavel and President Pellegrini to come up. And magically, we have this red button, but don't press it yet. You see this red button here, and they are going to be the official starters of this beautiful clock tower. So we are going to do the run of show. So are we ready to at least, there'll be a 3-minute calling to the Orloj by Smetana. So is Smetana ready to come? We're ready to go, so let's go. Should they press the button? Okay, so let's count down together. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. Whoa! Keep it. wasn't that great? That's our Cedar Rapids Tower and our Iowa Tower. And just so you're not want to know, we had it rigged to do it at this hour. It will now go every hour till 9 or 10 o'clock. So when you're down here, when you hear the Voltava, that's your calling to come, and then you stand here. Did you hear the dog? Yes. Okay, the dog, if you know in Prague they have the rooster. We have a dog because that's what Ernie wanted. So we have the dog because of Ernie. So the dog is on the other side, and he weighs like 800 pounds or something. But he's up there, and he'll be barking afterwards. So now to conclude our program, I'm going to ask our national Miss Czech Slovak US, Miss Trinity Pesco from Phillips, Wisconsin, to end with a piece by Antonín Dvořák. Humorous.
The player once begin that music of the violin, my thoughts of home go winging through the air. Neath the magic of those fingers, how my fancy often lingers, happy in my homeland fair. Ah, days of gladness and hours of sadness, such music brings you back to me. It is then I recapture some of the rapture of those golden days that now are lost to me. How my recollection strays to half-forgotten bygone days, whene'er the lilting humoresque is played. Memories it brings to me of starlit nights across the sea, and lovers in a cool and sylvan glade. I can hear the bells in the church up yonder. I can see the dancing upon the green, and these sights and sounds as my fancies wander help me to recall every word seen. But amidst these scenes that a wistful memory traces, there are kinsmen dear that I'll find no more, and I look in vain for those well-remembered faces. They are gone from sight on that far shore. Neath the rustling of the leaves, my homing thoughts all spread their wings and carry me in fancy through the air. By the charm of music banished, all my cares at once have vanished, and with joy I greet my home so fair. Ah, happy homeland, my lovely homeland, to your dear shores I'm swept along, with a heart full of yearning. Now I am returning, wafted to my homeland on the wings of
Many thanks to our Miss Czech and Slovak national queen, who is half Czech and half Slovak. Before we depart and to keep on our time schedule, Anne, would you like to come up? We have our press conference now and a photo op, one more that's kind of a surprise that we added to the program, so we're going to have to make sure we do it quickly. But so we'll have an orderly way. Our VIP people can go. They'll follow VIP people to go into the dining room. Unfortunately, we couldn't have a massive luncheon, but those of you know who are invited, and we thank you all. We encourage you now to go to Czech Village, Newbold, get something good to eat. We've got great souvenirs of this day to remember this, so you can tell your children and grandchildren. But we have one more surprise. So if I could have the presidents, please. Okay. So we heard, we have 2 Harley Davidsons down here. And we wanted to do a parade of Harley Davidsons, but we could not. So we are going to have a photo op, and we have a gift for you from the Harley Davidson, McGrath Harley Davidson here in Cedar Rapids. And so I'm going to have the honor and pleasure to put them on you.
The same side. They're both L's. Yes, they're both L's.
Whoa. So we invite you to please go down here. They're all ready for the cameras and get on the Harley. There are keys in there, but you can't go. Whoa. So let's give a hand to our new Harley members, our new Harley Davidson members. Stand there. So now we'll proceed into the museum. The museum will reopen at 3:30. And for those of you that are staying, please follow the VIP list.